As I like to say, I think this is one of my favorite things I get to do, and is ask questions to some fun people. And we're talking a bourbon festival, this time in Frankfort, Kentucky, Bourbon on the Banks. And we have three pretty awesome guests to talk about that. We have the event director, Diane Strong. Welcome in.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
We also have Amzi, who is the Bourbon on the Banks board member and president of the Frankfurt Bourbon Society. Amzi, welcome in.
Thanks for having us. Glad to be here today.
And last but not least, Renee, who is the board president for the event and part of the Frankfurt Bourbon Society. Welcome in.
Jonathan, thank you. Glad to be on today.
As for those that say are coming in for a good bit of the either staying past the event, coming in before the event, there's so much to do in Frankfurt, and I think people sometimes might forget that, or maybe if they were here a few years ago or a little longer, they might go, well, there wasn't a ton going on, but there is a lot going on, a lot of new restaurants, a lot of new places to visit and see, and what can folks do around Frankfurt in addition to these events and places they can check out?
Yeah, well, Diane hit on a couple. I'll hit on the restaurants and bars. So the Frankfurt Bourbon Society, just as an example, we do a social once a month, and I kind of organize that. So a couple years ago, I mean, we were struggling to find one per month, 12. Now I cannot do them all in one year. There are more than 12 restaurants and bars in downtown Frankfurt. So and all of them serve bourbon. So you don't have to leave downtown to find other things to do. And we've also had a lot of new retail open up in the last year or two as well, right where the Bourbon Street on Broadway and right where everything's happening. So where the Bourbon Street on Broadway thing on Friday night and the festival on Saturday, I mean, we're talking 2 blocks. It's all right there.
Yeah, so what I would like to what I would touch on there too to expand a little bit is, let's say, restaurants. Limestone or Limewater Bistro
Yeah.
there. Our partner on that food and drink pairing, Limewater, really very close to Buffalo Trace, right there on the Kentucky River. Beautiful setting, great food, kind of a little bit of a higher end place. Great cocktails. A new place just opened up downtown. Was it the Brown Barrel? I actually haven't even tried it yet, but
Excellent.
they also have a place in Midway, Kentucky, and it's great. Got House of Commons, a bourbon library. Dave going there, his whole crew, they're extremely knowledgeable. Great whiskey selection, including some old Dusties if you want to try and find like a birth year bottle or something like that. They will curate flights for you. You can also do flight pours, so a half ounce of anything they have. So, it can get kind of pricey to try pours of some of these bottles, but that way you can go and try several. Hauser Tavern is new, and that's right there on St. Clair, right off Broadway, where the events will be Friday night. They also have a little hotel located above it called the St. Clair. We got, what's the new Irish place? Dicey Riley's on St. Clair.
Yep.
The Cooperage, Capitol Cellars. I mean, we have great options. All these places have great bourbon selections. So, even without the festival, you can now spend several days in Frankfurt just enjoying the local options.
Well, and that doesn't include the ones that were already there, of course. Goodwood,
Yeah,
Bourbon on
right.
Main,
Yeah,
Serafini's, Mi Fiesta.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I'm just mentioning the new ones that
I
we've
know.
got, really in the last year and a half.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's amazing to see how Frankfurt has continued to grow, and it's perfect to pair with the festival. And for those that maybe have gone in years past and are like, well, what can be a little bit different for me this year, or maybe why should I come back again? What do you say to those folks that hey, come on back? Because one, they're probably going to get to try a new product, but any other reasons there too?
Well,
Yeah.
I can tell you.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Diane.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, we have people I know that have come since 2019. I don't know if it's just for they come back every year, and it's always like it's on their calendar. They're the first to buy the tickets. So it's definitely worth coming back every year. I can tell you that. And yes, you are correct. We always have new distilleries and new craft ones that are coming online, and they each have their own unique story. And you'll get to sample ones that you didn't get to sample before because you didn't have the time or the body fat content to be able to handle that much. You know what I mean? So
Well, and Jonathan, not only new distilleries at the festival, but new distilleries in or near the community. For instance, Jay Mattingly opened up, and they were in Georgetown. Now they're in Frankfort. They're just right across the street from Buffalo Trace. Lawrenceburg Bourbon Company, it's the next county over. Lawrenceburg Bourbon Company, they're new. They're right next to Wild Turkey. They've been around a couple years, but I mean, they have a new guest visitor experience facility that they didn't have online last year. So there's a lot of new things happening with the distilleries in the immediate area besides just being in the festival itself.
And also we're trying to add more events into the festival. The food pairing event, the Thursday night kickoff at Whiskey Thief, which last year was our first year for that, but we sort of announced that on short notice last year. And that was a great event. People came out there, they loved that. And so it's giving people, a reason to come in a few days early. We have some events, but they don't take all day. And you can go visit some of the other distilleries in the area and then come back for these events.
Yeah, definitely plenty to do, and so many more distilleries coming on in the Central Kentucky region, and it's kind of cool to see that. And then it seems like there'll be more coming here in the next few years that you'll be able to add to the festival. And if folks want to get more information or buy tickets, anything like that, where do they need to go?
bourbononthebanks.org.
And then if they want any information on the Frankfort Bourbon Society, where should they go?
FrankfortBourbonSociety.com on that one. Also at the festival, Frankfort Bourbon Society will have a tent set up. I believe we'll have some other bourbon societies. Is that correct, Diane? Will we have Lexington Bourbon Society?
And Louisville will be there.
Yeah. And so if anybody is in those local areas, wants to go, find out a little bit more about those organizations. Sometimes even like Frankfort Bourbon Society, we do have members from other states. They come to our events. We're a pretty busy bourbon society. Come to our events when they're in town visiting distilleries. When we're doing barrel picks, we actually run drawings, so any of our members have the opportunity to do those. But feel free to stop by and see us during the festival.
Yeah, and follow us on social media, Bourbon on the Banks, Facebook and Instagram. We try to keep people posted on some of the things going on and keep you updated. On the website, you have a chance to subscribe, and that'll give you notifications of when our tickets go on sale in the spring, so you'll have the first chance at purchasing tickets. So if you're a person that wishes you would have gotten those special access tickets, if you subscribe, you will be notified ahead of time. So we encourage you to do that.
A nice little benefit of that, and then obviously you get to keep up with all the distillers that are coming on, events and different things like that. And Diane, Renee, Hamzy, thank you so much for answering some questions and talking about Bourbon on the Banks.
Yeah, absolutely. The more we can get the word out, we appreciate it. We appreciate you having us.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan.
Then I should say we are a nonprofit organization. We didn't mention that, but we do give back to our community with some of the proceeds from the event. So keep that in mind. We're very proud of that. We've given back over 100,000.
Awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome. A drink and a way to give back to the community. I don't think it could be any better than that.
Absolutely.